Now here, bring you my opinions on
The return of Truckee!
Friday Night Funkin' Logic! No idea why they told it in reverse, but whatever. My entire existence is also something that is in reverse, so let's just, get into the opinions and crap. This episode is on the same quality as all the other Friday Night Funkin' Logics, just because they're so similar. Obviously, they're all in completely different situations, but they all feel like the same thing is happening. And especially with how often they're making these, it just gets really repetitive. They've done this 5 times in a row by now, and yet it's still somehow a little less repetitive than the dream stuff from last weekend. But yeah, hopefully that's all done over with now and we can get on to discussing about this. And for now, I'll just ignore all the previous episodes and talk about this as a standalone thing. It was decent. They didn't make any weirdly uncomfortable jokes, and a lot of the jokes actually did work. This episode was pretty forgettable, so I can't really name any exact examples, but they exist. What I do feel this did a good job of was poking fun at the logic of Friday Night Funkin', as the title would imply it's supposed to do. It actually does that pretty well when it's making fun of these mods. That's a compliment that, despite GameToons constantly using the logic titles, and by that I mean only not using it once, it doesn't really make sense a lot of the time, but here it actually works for what the episode does. I still know literally nothing about Friday Night Funkin' logic, especially with the mods, but sure, I'll try to discuss them. From what I've heard, the first fight of this video is actually a pretty obscure mod, so yeah, that's kind of a weird choice, but okay, it worked. And the tricky thing was obviously the main gimmick of the episode, and they pulled it off pretty well. Some of the dialogue in this episode felt a little unnatural, but I mean, sometimes that just happens, and I'm probably a bigger offender of that than they. The animation quality is obviously doing really well. The errors are still in the process of being missed, but in the long run, it was a good idea to change them. The errors were stable, but getting rid of them was a good move in the long run, and it has proved to be, a good idea for the animation quality and, not making the video feel too much like gameplay. But in the case of the outro noises, I'm never getting rid of those, so here's some more. Outro noises! Yay!